unusual times, strange times, crazy times, total chaos, you name it. All kinds of names have been given to this period, talking about spring 2020, here on planet Earth. How to deal with this? What to do? What can you do? What can you control? What should you control? I'm going to answer some of these questions in this video. So I would say buckle up, fasten your seatbelts, and you'll have a nice ride. Like, subscribe, and share. So first of all, let's call it unusual times. Saying it's crazy, saying it's chaos, saying it's whatever, swearing at it, is not going to help you. You may say, yeah, but it's good to release that frustration. Well, why to be frustrated in the first place? Yes, it's unusual. Yes, it can be difficult. Yes, you will struggle. No, you don't need to suffer. And no, you cannot control everything. And no, maybe you should not try to control everything. And yes, you should go with the flow. And yes, it helps if you listen to your intuition. What can you do? Yeah, actually, what can you do? First of all, I would really suggest that you take time to be with yourself. Yes, you have self-isolation and whatever, quarantine, lockdown. No, I'm talking like really being with yourself. So switch off TV, switch off radio, switch off your computer, your phone, or at least you put on airplane mode without Wi-Fi on, and you just spend time with yourself. It will help you to find some peace. And if you get very agitated by that, it's because you may be not used to spend time with yourself and you're only looking for distractions. So then it's definitely the moment to not be tempted and not to listen to these distractions, but to sit with yourself and start writing down. Just take a piece of paper and a pen if you still remember how to use your hands to write something, and start writing down. Write down what's coming up, how you feel, what you're afraid of, what's stressing you. Just keep writing it down. Keep writing whatever is coming. Write. All. Maybe you're going to read back, maybe not. Maybe you're going to read partially, you're going to skim it. I don't know. Not relevant. Just write it off. Beautiful thing is, at a certain moment, you will start to stress less. You start to relax because for the first time ever in your life, somebody is really listening to you. You're listening to what you're feeling. And that is you. You listening to yourself for the first time ever. Really listening. That you feel deep inside. Because every time you switch on the TV, every time you go partying, every time you take a cigarette or you drink alcohol, you're distracting. You're not listening to what's really happening inside you. And then when you let out all that stuff that's there, at a certain moment you will realize that some beautiful things start to come, some insights, some wishes, some desires. I don't talk about desires, I want to have sex with that person or I want to eat that thing. No, I'm talking about I would love to create something beautiful. I would love to have a nice conversation with a person. I would like to tell somebody how I feel about something. Or simply call somebody and say, hey, I love you or I miss you. Maybe you want to create something, maybe you want to start drawing something. Maybe actually while writing at a certain moment you start to draw something, or just feeling it and your hand starts to move, and before you know you're making a drawing. Maybe you start to build something with your hands. Maybe you decide to cook. Maybe you've never really cooked in your life, but you decide, I want to do something, I want to create something, I want to create some food, I want to mix things, just to try out, take a recipe, but then, oh, I don't have that, I don't have that, but what could I replace it with? And just like, oh, but I have that and that. Oh, start doing something. Just to let your creative energy come out, start expressing it. I remember that I saw a picture once, a comic cartoon, a Dutch one, about the Dutch military. And I saw it and I don't remember what my mood was, but just I felt like, hey, I'm going to do something with it. And then I spent, I think, an hour or two playing with that picture. In the end, the picture was a completely different picture with a much stronger message than the original picture was, because I started to add all these things in the picture. It was in the same line of humor, but I overdid it a bit. It was two military officers sitting there at a table, so I put like toys of military toys next to them, and I put the logos on their laptops, and then I put a painting of Putin, and I put a calendar, and I made it like a gay calendar. So I looked for half naked or fully naked firemen or something like that, and I put them there. So I made a gay calendar, like the gay army, and because they can be so macho, I was like, okay, let's go the other extreme. They're gay, and I put a bonsai tree, and all kind of little things. Oh, yeah, the picture with Putin was that I took also darts, and then there were like, they had been throwing darts at Putin. So there was one on his face and a few missed, and so yeah, I had to look for the pictures of the different creations. I had to play with transparency and put them all in there, and yeah, it was really fun. And if I remember at the end, and if I can remember actually where I left that picture, I will include it, and hopefully I will also have the original, and then you will see what I did. It was really joyful. And then during the abundance challenge, when I did it myself, a certain day I had to create also something, a drawing regarding the abundance. And so I was also busy for an hour, and I decided to do digitally, which you can do it by hand, digitally, and the group I'm leading, I told them, even if you want to make some sculpture or something else, it's fine, as long as you create something that represents abundance for you. And then I made a whole picture, and again with a lot of different aspects in it. It was so fun to do, it felt so good. And also remember I took the seed of life and I made a whole A3 colored, I bought colored pencils, and I made the design and played with the colors, and now it's framed and it's hanging there, and it's, yeah, it was actually the first drawing I made in over a decade, maybe actually in 2 decades. And it was so nice. So these kind of things can come up. And then you can also look at what can you do. Like I'm creating these videos about the staying home, and not every day me staying home is a fun day. So I had a day where I was really sad and I was not feeling so good, and so I did nothing that day and I slept a lot. So the next day I recorded a video, which is the funny one with a cat, and which was actually me talking about the previous day, the day that I was feeling bad. But because I allowed myself just to feel the way I felt and let all the emotions out and process them, I felt really good after that. So I was actually happy that this happened because a lot of shit came out and I could process it. And so I made a fun video about it. So that's my way of contributing. I'm also not sure if one of my clients can pay me or when he can. It's not a question, it's more a question like when will my client be able to pay? Because of the crisis, his company had to close down. It was one of the unlucky ones who had to close shop during this period, and I decided I will continue to work with the client because I'm not spending money to work with the client. Okay, a few watts on electricity to have the lights on because I do video calls. But I decided to continue because the person I'm training for this client, which is an employee, is so motivated and is really doing his homework, is practicing and loves it and is buying the books that I suggest and is really coming with questions, with suggestions. It's like really motivated. So I'm like, okay, it being crisis is not a reason to stop. So I continue. And then today there is this charity that I support that is about taking the food from places that produce food, and just before it goes bad, it's being shipped away to help poor people, people in need, families, individuals, old people, young people who simply don't have enough to buy food. And so I got the call today, like, hey, can you come because there's a lot. We need it to be picked up. So I went there and I filled up 2.5 bags. And already on the way there, I was like, okay, who can I help? Who needs food? And okay, there's a single mom who's an entrepreneur who's also going through this period of like, okay, how I'm gonna pay the bills? How I'm gonna do about food? And okay, and then there is another entrepreneur. And I was like, okay, these two people I know well enough. I will find a way to get the food to them. And I was not sure yet how. And then coming home, my neighbor was in the garden playing with his son, and he saw me with carrying the bags full of food. He was like, "Oh, what are you doing?" And so I told him a little bit. He was like, "Hey, if you want, I can drive you." I was like, "Wow, okay." So I started contacting those people. I'm like, "Okay, are you home? At what time? Okay, good." And then I sort of the stuff, and one of them is vegetarian, so I took vegetarian stuff here, and then the non-vegetarian with the dairy there. And yeah, and then we went and we drove to the other side of the city to one of them, brought it the stuff, helped putting stuff in the fridge, and the fridge was full and super happy. And then drove to the other side, and it was already getting late, and I just gave the bag, and yeah, I got a big hug because that person was like, yeah, Lotfi's gonna come and bring some food. Yeah, when somebody says, yeah, I'll bring you some food, you think about a box, a nice meal or something. But it was a shopping bag full of food. And the feedback afterwards was so beautiful. And what did it cost me in the end? An hour and a half total. And my neighbor, very kind neighbor. I mean, the whole family is like super kind people. But it cost him a little bit less time and a little bit of gas. But he was happy to help, to be out of the house, to have an excuse to go somewhere, and to make people happy. So sometimes it doesn't cost money. It just needs you to decide to be available to help, to do something. Whether it is you exercising your profession, or you teaching your hobby to other people. I mean, you can start to go online and teach people how to do certain things if you're good at it. Because people have so much time now sitting at home. I also know somebody who's teaching, teaching a kid online or on the phone, I don't know exactly. It's teaching math, English, stuff like that. So there's so much that you can do. There's so many ways you can make a difference. Because these times of difficulties because it's time of change, it's a reset time. So we will struggle, but we don't need to suffer. We can decide to look at what is it that I can do. And also to ask for help. When you need help, ask for it. And then help will come. So please, take a moment to see how you can make a difference, how you can support people, how you can help people. People in need. And almost every one of us is in need today. We're in need of contact, social contact, affection, a talk, just socializing, and we can do that online. There are people who are posting their phone numbers on some platforms so that random strangers can call them to have a conversation who are lonely. There is so much you can do. Just be open, or put the question out there like, hey, I don't know what to do, but I would love to help someone. And then just share what you know or what you love to do. And you'll see people will come to you like, hey, you know how to cook. Please, I don't know what to prepare. It's really starting to become boring. This is what I have in the fridge. Would you have a recipe for me? And then that person will just come up with a recipe like, but you could do that and mix that with that and then do the spices like this, and then it may look similar to what you used to, but it tastes completely different. I mean, there's so many things. So just try. Do a small effort. And that's how humanity will get through these difficult times. And that's how we will come out of this stronger, wiser, with more love, with new friendships, new relationships. And this will also mean that if you, for example, an entrepreneur, your business will do this as soon as things are picking up. Or maybe already your business can start to do this because you're simply offering your help and you're just being out there will encourage certain people to say, hey, well, I can afford, so I would love you to teach me that and that, and I'll be happy to pay you. So you can keep doing what you're doing, also to support all those who cannot pay, who do not have the money to afford anything. Like me making my videos, making this video. I have people supporting me, I have people helping me. So I can keep doing what I'm supposed to do in this life, which is inspiring people, motivating people, helping people, bringing them new ideas. So see what you can do. And please do share. Tell me what you're doing. And if you put it in the comments, other people will see and they can contact you as well to ask you. Or you will inspire other people with your ideas. Maybe I'll just create a post just saying only this. Yes, please let me know how you're making a difference. And of course, as always, take good care of yourself. Live healthy. Make sure you sleep enough, you feed yourself well, physically, emotionally, and mentally. So you eat and drink properly, you drink enough, you stay hydrated, you move as much as you can. Where I live, we're allowed to go out for physical exercise. So do that. I've seen people being creative that instead of going to the gym, they put dishwashing soap on the floor and some water and then they start walking. Okay, it could be slippery, you could break your neck, so don't do that. But find a way to exercise. And I promise you, I will make a video or find a video and put it on my page with something about exercise you can do at home without needing any tools or any special stuff. Even if you don't have a yoga mat, you'll be able to do these things. Do something. Stay in shape. Don't watch too much the crappy news because it's only shit and only poisoning you. And see how you can make a difference. See you in the next video. Oh, it's shaky. Yay. Yes, my table's shaking. No earthquake. Have a wonderful day. Like, subscribe, and share.